hear this, you are not alone. This is the resistance.
Okie dokie. Children. Get a hold of yourselves. Okay? Now, we have trolls. These things happen. You are all been told what to do with these trolls. Document, and that's all you can do, is document everything. You got to be careful about what we say, because they're not very careful about what they say. Okay? Now, I don't normally do this more often than I'm supposed to. And I've done it twice before in the past, which boiled down to being once a year. I did it again. Thought I was going to be done this year. But this foolishness has to end. It's derailing what you are being trained to do. It's derailing what you are training others to do. It's derailing what you're studying. Everything that you guys are supposed to be doing, quite literally, is not getting done because of one troll. That's all it took. One troll. We're smarter than this. We are better than this. Don't feel bad, guys. You weren't the only ones targeted. He came after me. He tried. He tried in vain. Did you guys know? Did you guys know my real name was Porter Rockwell? Were you made aware of that? You guys might want to look into that. Because anybody who's followed this knows who I am. I've declared it right from the beginning. I stated that I wasn't anonymous. I stated my first, middle, and last name, stated where I live. I quite literally made it easy for this little puke. I made it so easy. So easy. But I did that on purpose. I wanted the government to verify and see what I was doing. Maybe not verify, that would be bad. That means I'm looking for their approval. I wanted them to oversee. I wanted them to notice what was happening. Any of you notice I didn't encourage you to hurt anybody? Because we don't want those kinds of things on YouTube videos. That would be foolish. Do you ever notice I haven't encouraged you to hurt buildings? We don't want those kinds of things on YouTube. Those things would be foolish. We do not mobilize for destructive purposes. Know this. Know this because you need to know this. Not because I told you. Just know this. Okay, you need to know these things. We're a non-violent organization. It's important that I make a video that clarifies this in ways that most of us wouldn't even want to believe. But it is important that you know that we are a non-violent movement. Oh, you don't like what we're doing. Well, that's okay. I didn't do this because I wanted you to like it, you ignorant puke. I did this because it needed to be done. I can see it in the comments that many activist channels are being censored. Why? Come on now. Age-old divide and conquer. It's not news to anybody. This isn't news to you. It's not news to me. Divide and conquer. Rather simple stuff. Okay? So the movements, they splintered away when the Anonymous Collective came to power. Yeah, I'll say that. They came to power. They did well. They got their hands on the information. They gave the information to the people. I believe that's what every person in the world thought their government bodies were doing for them. So yeah, when the Anonymous Collective came into power and returned the power to the people got outraged and they rose up and they protested. Then they were met with the long arm of the law. These things happen. We would be an idiot if we didn't know that these things happened. After the long arm of the law crushed it, which is what happened, it crushed, it splintered off. They were hoping that divide and conquer would come into play. They thought that would be the natural way of things. That's not how it went down. Because, yeah, I'm a Terminator buff. I enjoy the films. Okay? There's one man that taught these guys, that taught everybody, that taught the resistance how to storm the fences and smash these metal motherfuckers into junk. And that man's name was John Connor. What do you think my anonymous mission was? Salvation. Grab the remaining people that are doing what needs to be done We put them in a think tank. Because that's all it could possibly be for the early stages. That's all we could do. So, we stepped back, we paid attention, we saw Occupy, sprung not too long after Anonymous came into power. We saw Idle No More, which is a Native American movement on both sides of the border that is done with the tragic bullshit that we see everywhere. None of this is news to anybody. So, the Worldwide Resistance Network has no problem declaring to the world that the anonymous occupation is idle no more. This occupation that grew in 2011 will spring again. It'll spring again under a new name. It won't be the Worldwide Resistance Network. Those who will do it for the Worldwide Resistance Network will be the hardcores, the diehards, those who really understood what we were doing from the beginning. Now, you guys have to understand something. Each and every one of our activist channels that are out there have trolls. And yet there is only one troll that's really coming after us. One. Don't really want to silence the man. There's no reason to silence anybody. So the guy came out and he doxed me. He tried. Good effort. I'll give you that, bud. You did what you thought you had to do. I did what I thought I had to do too. I did it years ago. I gave out my real name. I gave out an alias name. I gave out another alias name. I think I got like 5 more alias names out there that you're going to come across. You'll see. And one thing I didn't like, though, something I didn't appreciate, was that you grabbed a third party. Someone that doesn't really even know me personally. Never had an opportunity to shake my hand. This person chose to support me. And, excuse me, you doxed me declaring that this person was my girlfriend. Well, we'll laugh a little bit about it because my girlfriend was beside me asking me if there was something I had to tell her. And I said, well, it depends. Are you using an anonymous account under this name? And she said no. I said, you know that you don't have to remain anonymous with me. You can remain anonymous because I'm not there to take away people's anonymity. That's not what I'm here for. But for the great power of what was, I needed to know if she was doxxed. And she told me who her anon aliases were and what she uses, and it did not match. So, Andrew, you got to go back to the drawing board, brother. You're not going to have much of a choice in the matter here. Because, one, John Connor, which is everybody, I started it, and I made it look cool in the beginning, and it was fun for however long it lasted. We're not going to pretend that it wasn't. But John Connor is everybody. Believe it or not, you could be John Connor. So, that name doesn't really go well with the authorities of any sort. So you did some digging. Good on you. I'd prefer to have you on my side than against me, tell you the truth, but I'm kind of glad that I don't have you on my side, because if you were feeding me information in the likeness of what you sent my Tin Man, we would never get anything done. Because you declared that Porter Rockwell is my real name in a dox. You tried to get my place of origin. You tried. Okay. Canada. Okay? You're going to do a lot of federal paperwork to see my ass in a courtroom, you ignorant puke. So, I live in Canada. You know what? I'll even give you a heads up, buddy. The government institution in which that you would want to have investigate me is called CSIS. Okay? That's who you would want to have investigate me. I'd love to sit down with CSIS and tell them how upset I am. But do you know what? About 3 years ago, CSIS publicly declared to the great country of Canada that our federal government has been infiltrated. So the very alphabet organization that you would contact to tell them that I am some sort of homegrown terrorist already knows that I exist. Because you're acting like I didn't call my own military yet. You're acting like the police force in my city doesn't know my first name.